brand new dev note. I know it's 18 hours already. A lot of you already seen it, but we have a brand new, it's the same day, whatever. It's the same day, brand new dev note for the Jujutsu Kaisen collab. Let's take a look at it. Let's see how we feel. But everyone's excited anyway. It doesn't really matter what the units do. Everyone is excited regardless. We have new content. We have new scrolls. We have new summons. Everyone's happy. After they come out, if they're not good, then they'll be disappointed. But as of right now, everyone's very happy to see the Jujutsu Kaisen collab. And I think this makes a lot more sense for the player base than some of the other ones we've seen in the past. Although I'm a huge fan of the Street Fighter one. That was probably my favorite collab. Anyway, greetings from the Summoners War dev team. Exciting news to share. Summoners War Jujutsu Kaisen collaboration, which they already announced. There's a video talking about the behind the scenes. They go through like the character designs and the models and the inspiration behind this and that. I don't think there's any extra information really. There might be one or two tidbits here or there. I did skim through the video though already. In this collaboration, the famous characters of Jujutsu Kaisen appear in Summoner's War. Update is coming July 30th. Let's take a look at the rest of it. Where do we get started? Where do we get started with the actual information? Main character, popular anime. Yes. Okay, here's the first thing that I wanted to mention. We're finally there. Selected 5 characters from Jujutsu Kaisen. Wait. What is the characters we predicted? So the characters that I predicted based on the collabs that they've done already, Jujutsu Kaisen collabs with Mobile Legends Bang Bang and Fortnite, the characters from those, which I said were going to be likely if go look at the other video that I did, I said we're probably going to get those same characters. It's very likely we're going to get those same characters in Summoner's War. It was Yuji, Satoru Gojo, Megumi, and Nobara. So the characters that we are getting here, and we're getting 5 because we knew that there was going to be some. Well, we didn't know. We expected that they were going to do a 5th one, just like they did with the previous collabs. Everything had a 5th unit, and the 5th unit was the free one that everyone gets. So Yuji, Megumi, Nobara, Satoru Gojo, and Ryomen Sukuna. So that is the 5th one that we did not predict. I didn't know what it was going to be for that 5th one. I'm sure some of you already predicted it, but I was just going based on the prior collabs that they've done with other games, and that's how I determined what units were possibly going to be part of this one. And then they talk a little bit about the units, and we did mention where you can go to actually watch the... Beans, my wife, she's been watching the anime. She's all of a sudden inspired, and she's very excited about the collab. She doesn't even farm that. She does farm. I gotta be very careful with my words. She does farm. She doesn't get crazy into PvP. She will auto PvP. Anything she feels guilted into doing, she will auto. Mostly guild content because she doesn't want to let her guildmates down. But she's been watching the anime again for the past few days, ever since it was announced, and she's been into it. So she's excited about this. But this is just talking about the monsters, the backstories, the different characters. So let's talk about the units that are actually coming. Well, the 5 that they're showing us here. So some of them are going to be, I don't know where they actually said it. They say it right here actually. Will be added in awakened forms with their original names. Satoru Gojo will be available as a Nat 5 character in all attributes. While Yuji, Megumi, Nobara will be added as Nat 4 and 5-star characters depending on the attribute, just like previously. Ryomen Sukuna, which is this unit right here, is going to be the Nat 5 character with the Dark attribute who will be available from the collab special event. And of course, these are all going to come out in the Summoner's War versions at a later date. While their appearances are appealing. How long is it between when the collabs are? Actually, I don't know. I probably should, but between when the collabs are and when the Summoner's War original characters come out with the same exact skills. I want to say like 3 months, but I honestly, I don't remember. I probably should have paid more attention to the actual time. It probably changes. It's probably different amounts of time for each collab. I'm getting off topic and ranting again. Let's actually take a look at the skills of the units and let's see what we think about them. So this is going to be the unit that everyone gets for free as part of the event, and then also with coins after the Summoner's War original characters come out. We got the Dismantle skill 1, attacks the enemy to deal damage, ignores all damage reduction effects. The damage increases. This includes invincibility. I know a lot of people forget about that, but it does include invincibility, so you can just deal damage through that. Damage increases as your attack power is higher than the enemy's defense. So it goes through invincibility, goes through shields, goes through defense buffs, everything like that. Damage increases as your attack power is higher than the enemy's defense. Cleave second skill attacks the enemy 2 times to decrease its defense for 2 turns with a 50% chance. Each hit's damage decreases if you are attacked. See, this is the weird part. Each hit damage decreases if your attack power is higher than the enemy's defense. You'd think it would be increase if your attack power is higher than the enemy's defense, but it decreases, but the number of hits increases up to 6 times. So I'm not sure how much, like the percentage that it decreases, what the actual amount is, but could hit up to 6 times, which is potentially nice, depending. And then we have the reverse curse technique passive at the start of every turn. If your HP did not increase compared to the previous turn and has decreased by less than 30% of your HP, will revert to the HP from the previous turn. So you build him kind of like a bruiser, and he will, because I mean, if you build him super squishy, then you do want to build him with high attack power. But I feel like this is just going to be a bruiser unit, kind of like Monkey Kings, Dragon Knights, things of that nature, and he will basically heal himself, but he reverts to his old HP. I don't know that this is necessarily going to be a super strong unit. I don't think this is going to win any games for people and be like, oh, you could win games with any unit, really. But I don't think this is going to be anything to write home about. From what it looks like here, we might see it in action and be like, wow, this is so much better than we expected. But I also don't like the Light Altair that much from the last one. He can, in certain instances, do a lot of damage, but it just takes too much to use him on a regular basis, like all your matches. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to bring the Light Altair all the time. It's not really gonna do amazing things for you. But I do like some of the other units a little bit better. Infinite Strike. So we got the Water Satoru Gojo, which is a defense unit. The first one was an attack type unit. I'm not sure what his base attack is going to be either. That would make him a little bit easier to rune and get that high attack power on. The Water one, Water Satoru Gojo. Infinite Strike, attack the enemy to stun with for 1 turn with a 30% chance. Skill 2, Curse Technique Lapse Blue, attacks all enemies. I imagine that the animations for these are going to be wild. They actually did show a little bit in the video on YouTube for these units, but the behind the scenes dev video. But yeah, I can imagine they're going to be really cool animations. Attacks all enemies 2 to 3 times, deal damage proportional to your defense, and steals 1 beneficial effect. This seems crazy. Attacks all enemies 2 to 3 times, deal damage proportional to your defense, steals 1 beneficial effect, 20% chance. Not sure how much this is going to go up with skill ups, the percentage to actually steal them. If it goes up to like 50%, that could be nice. That could be really nice. I don't know what his base speed is going to be either, but that's pretty solid. Put him on despair, you strip, you steal you can steal so many different things. He could be a buff machine. 6 size passive, gains immunity. Oh yeah, this was another nice one. Gains immunity against attack bar, because I did take a look at this earlier. I did skim it. I'm not saying that I skimmed it at work, but I skimmed it at work because I was curious. I was like, I'm not gonna wait all day. It was a 980 Friday. I'm like, I can squeeze a couple minutes to take a look at these. 6 size passive. I really like that they did this. Gains immunity against attack bar reduction effects. I think this is gonna be really nice. Really nice, especially because, you know, Oliver is strong against water units. Wind unit, strong. Hypothetically, we've seen the matches. Sometimes he's strong against fire units. Sometimes water units are strong against him. Who knows? It's Summoner's War. It's all random half the time anyway. But just the fact that this is like, you don't have to worry that much about Oliver here. Immunity against attack bar reduction effects. Increase your attack bar by 30% when the turn ends. It seems very strong. It's like this. I would be excited to get this. I don't know how many scrolls I have on my accounts, but not that many. Maybe like 100 on each, except for the account that we did summons on like a week ago. But Yeah, not that many to be honest. But this would be a fun. Maybe Beans will get him, and then I will just maybe not, probably not. But yeah, seems like a good unit. That's something I'm excited about. Between the passive and the skill too. But I can't get too excited about that small chance to steal. It could be awesome. I feel like fast, good accuracy, tanky defense, tanky HP on Despair would be what I would go for. Because he seems like he'd be really good. And then we have Yuji Itadori. This is an attack type unit, is a Nat 5. All of these that they're showing here are Nat 5s. Triple Assault, attack the enemy 3 times, deal damage that ignores all damage reduction effects. Triple hit, though, is not bad. Especially for things like Necro. You might want to use some of them for Necro. Well, it doesn't have that many hits for Necro, though. Attack the enemy 2 times, so Divergent Fist. Attack the enemy 2 times. First hit decreases its defense for 2 turns, and the second hit destroys the enemy's max HP by 100% of the damage dealt. In addition, the chance of landing a critical hit increases by 50% for each harmful effect granted on the enemy target. You have 2 harmful effects, and it is now 100%. So, yeah, seems like it would be easy to rune for players that don't have crazy runes. Although it's easier to get runes, decent runes nowadays, but yeah. But that doesn't mean people will have them. That just means that it's easier to get them, so the people that are motivated to get them have an easier time. Some people are still not motivated. Then we have Black Flash, maximum power, skill 3, attacks all enemies to destroy their max HP by 50% of the damage dealt. In addition, absorbs their attack bar proportion to their destroyed HP. This attack always lands a critical hit. So both of these are very crit friendly. You don't have to stack a lot of crit rate on him, and they destroy a lot of HP. Lots and lots of HP. So if your crit rate on your runes suck, and you're going up against bruisers all the time, and you're like, man, these things are too tanky, this might be a solid unit for you. I could see this being used in some arena offenses for people that have mediocre runes. They're like, Galleon Tiana, what's going to be a good damage dealer to go with that? This could be a very solid pick. And then we have the Wind Megumi Fushi, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the units are, like what the skills the rest of them are. Especially the 4 stars, because those are the only ones we're actually, for most of us, those are the only ones we're actually going to get. But, you know they're going to be duds. You know the first skills are going to be the same, and everything else is just going to be like, nope. So the first skill, Totality, attacks the enemy to decrease its defense and attack power for 1 turn with a 25% chance each. This kind of reminds me of the Taoists, because the Taoists have the attack power break and the glancing hit on skill 1. I don't know what the chance to actually land those debuffs is, but I think it's just 1 turn for each debuff as well. But Taoists have double debuffs on skill 1, which is nice, but the activation rate is low. Well-known Abyss, the Wells Unknown Abyss, attack the enemy to remove 1 beneficial effect with a 70% chance. It feels like something like this is going to be 100% after it's skilled up. Because it's just removing 1 beneficial effect, and it's just 1 enemy, and absorbs the attack bar by 30% with a 70% chance. Feels like it's going to be 100% after it's fully skilled up, and you still have the RNG of does it actually land, does it not land, because accuracy and resistance, but at least the activation rate is going to be, I would assume, 100. So strip and absorb attack gauge, which is not anything too crazy for a Nat 5, right? Shadow Manipulation Curse Technique grants invincible for 1. This is the nice one. Invincible for 1 turn on all allies, increases their attack power for 2 turns, increases their attack bar by 20% each. So, effectively, kind of like a Bastet, Draco, Megan, etc. Increased attack bar, increased attack power, except that this is also going to be nice against things like, oh man, it's a Lydia counter, isn't it? It's a Lydia counter. It's going to be nice against things like Lydia, that reflect damage, against things like the Dark Unicorn, which reflect damage. Why do I have to say these things now? As a Lydia and Dark Unicorn owner, thanks for nerfing my LD5's councils. They're like, you're welcome. We did this specifically for you, idiot. Thanks. I appreciate it. But yeah, now they don't have to take the reflect damage because they have invincibility. So I think that it's going to be really nice in those areas. I'm not too excited for the other versions of him because the first and second skills I don't really get too crazy about. It's a low activation rate here, and it's nothing really too ridiculous for the second skill. But Yeah, the third skill is nice. I want to see again. I want to see what the rest of these units are. What the skills in the rest of them are. Then we have the Nobara Kugisaki. Straw. So this is the unit in the anime. She like hammers nails at. Beans was talking about how she thinks it's a silly skill. She's like, for all of the different curse techniques, you have to have. She's hammering nails at the enemies. That's what she's got. She could have so much cooler stuff. But I will leave her to discuss the validity of the different skills and the character's life choices. So we have Disturb HP Recovery for the first skill. Second skill, Hairpin 4 nails attack the enemy target and 3 random enemies to provoke them for 1 turn with an 80% chance each. When the target is already provoked, the provocation duration increases by 1 turn up to 3 turns. Do we love provoke in the meta though? Because we do have, I mean, sometimes it's not bad. It depends on the situation. But we have a light paladin that a lot of people don't use. I actually haven't seen anyone use it recently, but I'm sure that people still are using it. Veramos is very strong against that though. So, and people have kind of started to respect Veramos a lot more lately, so it is probably very hard for light paladin owners. However, I'm sure it would still be useful, but just not anything too crazy. And then we have the Cursed Spirit Manipulation Resonance. And then remember, this is an LD5. So this is an LD5 HP unit. The Wind 1 was support. No shocker there. Fire 1 is attack. No shocker there. Water 1 is defense because he does damage based on his defense. But this one is an HP damage. Cursed Spirit Manipulation Resonance attacks one of the enemy targets that attacked you during 1 turn to deal 4. I want to see how this works, actually. I want to see this in action to see exactly how this works based on... Because it's kind of... You could think about it one way or another way based on the wording. So I want to see what the actual interaction is. Attacks one of the enemy targets that attacked you during 1 turn to deal 40% of the target's max HP as damage. If the target is a boss, deals 10% of the boss's max HP as damage. So I want to see. It seems like a decent skill. I don't get too excited about the first and second skills on this though. So I'm only getting excited about the skill 3. But yeah, and they talk a little bit more about the reasons behind why they wanted to do this and the ideas behind the animations. We have Jujutsu High School, which is going to be another, I think they said another game and a boss, like an endless boss mode battle. Main characters of Jujutsu Kaisen attend lessons and complete training missions, revealing many storylines about Yuji Itadori and his comrades. During the collab period, you can play a variety of quests at the newly introduced Jujutsu High School on Sky Island. It will serve as the location for the new minigame Boss Rush. Yeah, and Sorcerer Quest too. Boss Rush is a collab content form of minigame. Different bosses of summoners will appear continuously, and you will have to clear them one by one. It's a virtual training place created by the Magic Council specifically for Jujutsu sorcerers and summoners to train, because all battles in Boss Rush are done with boss-only waves. No minions, just bosses. You can expect even... reminds me of cereal for whatever reason. Just marshmallows. You can expect even more intense and accelerating action. I know I'm fat. Listen, guys, I know. I'm dealing with it emotionally on the inside. Concerned about facing powerful bosses, we believe that summoners who are already familiar with the boss patterns can effectively complete this challenge. Let's look how the battles will progress. We went to the battle with 5 monsters. I feel like the light Geralt is going to be really nice for this, because you can just keep using. I mean, most people will not even imagine having that unit, but for those that do, like they're gonna be just certain Nat 5s that are just gonna dominate this, because they're gonna be good in multiple dungeons. Maybe Cadiz actually, right? Because isn't Cadiz really good for? I feel like Cadiz would be really solid for this. Because Cadi's been a decent dungeon unit, dungeon LD5. But yeah, there's just going to be some LD5s that are dominant, and that's what it's going to be. But, you know, it is a mobile game. So, yeah, they're just talking about all the different waves. Each wave is a boss, yada, yada, yada. And we got the ranking, we got the weekly reward. I want to see... They didn't really talk about the Sorcerer Quest, though. That's what I care about. Unless it's somewhere here that I missed it. Yeah, I don't see anything about the Sorcerer Quest. But I want to see more about the Sorcerer Quest. Actually, they might have it in the video, and I might not have noticed, because I was trying to watch it quick. But Yeah, we have the event dungeon, which is the same thing as the other dungeons that we've seen before. It is all node-based. You get characters in one node, and you get battles in another node, and you get special items in another one, which give you make your units stronger in different ways. But they say here, I mean, is this if you've done all these, 90% of you have done all these before in the previous collabs, it's the same basic thing. So, normal, hard, and hell difficulties. There's 3 bosses, which I believe they say later. So, yeah. Hanami, Dagon, and Gojo, who appeared as special grade cursed spirits, will appear as bosses in normal, hard, and hell, respectively. Please take a look at Dagon, the boss. They'll be ready for you in hard difficulty. I actually did not get a chance to see what his skills are. We have Water Spout Storm. Attacks all enemies to decrease their attack speed for 2 turns with a 50% chance. Shikigami Summons a fish Shikigami to attack. Summons a fish to attack all enemies 3 times. Each hit. Listen, the occult girls summon teddy bears, and they are pretty OP. So I'm not going to say a fish is not going to be OP. Yeah, Fish Shikigami to attack all enemies 3 times. Each hit removing their beneficial effect with a 25% chance. Not a great chance, but RNG is RNG, so you don't ever know what to expect. Deals greater damage to the enemy with the highest attack power. Becomes immune. Energy of Cursed Spirit becomes immune against the attack bar decreasing and glancing hit chance increasing effects. And Water Barrier passive decreases the damage taken from wind monsters by 30% and increases the damage dealt to water monsters by 50%. They're really not. Well, I suppose it really depends on if it's a new player playing or a seasoned player with really good runes and a lot of monsters to choose from playing. I think for anyone that's been playing the game on a regular basis, they really shouldn't have too much trouble with these. Kind of the same as the other ones. Boss clear rewards. And then what do we have? Other collab exclusive content. Collab characters will appear in TOA that refreshes on August 14th. And then there are going to be Jujutsu Kaisen scrolls that summons a collab character by clearing 50. And then we have Master X will appear as an arena rival, so you can fight against them. Collab special emojis will be provided, which is, people are going to want those for sure. I wonder if they're going to do, I don't think they mentioned if they're going to put any more in the mock battles with some of these units. So, and then Sorcerer's Quest content will be added to Jujutsu High School. Quests consist of repeated and one-time only missions. You can get a certain, oh, it's the missions. Oh man, that's kind of a bummer. I wasn't hoping for Gwent. I was just hoping for a different kind of game. So that makes sense why they didn't really talk about it. Because it's just missions. Yeah. They pop up, like every 8 hours or so? So, yeah. And then collab period is July 30th through October 1st. How to obtain the collab characters. We all know how to obtain these characters. We got the Jujutsu Kaisen scroll. And I think that's about it. Additional notice, boss rush, event dungeon. Yeah. Collab special events. I'm interested to see what the other characters are. That's the thing that I care about the most from any of these collabs is... Well, 2 things, I suppose. I think it makes me superficial, but I care about the skills of the units, and then I care about the animations and how the animations look because they're shiny, and of course I do. And I know some people are going to care about the story. They're going to be like, oh, I want to see the backstory, because you could take a look. They were talking about there's going to be more backstory in one of those areas. I think it was the Jujutsu Kaisen High School. What is it called? Jujutsu High School. Close enough. But yeah, there's supposed to be more story elements there. But I'm excited to see, and I think this guy's going to be good. I think the Satoru Gojo, the water one, I think is going to be a solid unit. So that's my thoughts, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are excited. I already know you guys are excited about the collab. I don't have to hope. I will see you as always in the next one.